Based on the Twitter post of Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr., he said that the Philippines is getting 2 French submarines, along with full training over the years of several rotations of the crew. This is the response of the foreign minister after the Twitter post of the United States Pacific Fleet that they are currently in naval drills along with the Japanese Self-Defense Maritime Force and French Navy submarines. The Philippine Navy did have plans to acquire new submarines, and the branch has already made a submarine group in its command under the Philippine Fleet. As of now, there are 2 contenders for the submarine acquisition project, namely the Scorpion class from the French Naval Group and Changbogo class of South Korean company Daewoo Shipbuilding. Although there hasn't been a contract awarded to a company, Philippine officials have been in close ties with the French Naval Group this year. The Naval Group also confirmed that they are currently in negotiations with the Philippines for the submarine deal. The CEO of the Naval Group described the discussion as intense, which means the country is eager to acquire submarines as soon as possible. Even with the virus pandemic going on, the 2 sides have kept in close touch, and Manila is very interested in developing its submarine force. The Naval Group is also considering either local construction or local assembly in the Philippines if the Philippine Navy selected the French-made Scorpion submarines, but there is no final word yet on what will be included in the deal. If the local construction or assembly will push through, this will be a breakthrough for the country, as it will be the first time that a submarine will be made in the Philippines. The Philippine Navy is very eager to have its submarine fleet to protect its interest in the South China Sea and the West Philippine Sea, and also have enough defense force against any external threats. The Naval Group has also announced that they will open an office early next year, 2021, in the Philippines, as the French shipbuilder is closing in on its potential customer. The opening of the office is also a product of intense discussion between the Philippine officials. The country is trying to keep up with its neighbors, especially in East Asia, where most of the nations are ramping up their submarine force to deter the threats of the Chinese Navy. The Philippines, which is very close to the disputed waters in the region, is lacking a submarine force. Even though South Korea's Daewoo Shipbuilding has not yet given up its submarine offer to the Philippines, the French Naval Group said that they are the only ones that can help a country develop a submarine force from scratch. They added that they stand ready to assist the Philippine Navy, including the training, facilities, and supply chain required to operate a fully operational submarine fleet. On another topic, the Japan International Cooperation Agency has released information and photos showing the start of the construction of the 94-meter multi-role response vessels for the Philippine Coast Guard. The ceremony was held at Mitsubishi Shipyards in Japan, which was participated mostly by the Japanese officials, while the Philippine officials joined virtually. This is by far the most expensive project in the Coast Guard, amounting to 7 billion pesos for 2 patrol vessels. The design of the new vessels was based on the Kunigami class, which is also used in the Japan Coast Guard. Currently, there are 20 of these ships that are active in their Coast Guard and proved to be well-designed ships. It is not yet clear if the main weapon, such as a 20mm rotary gun or a more powerful 30mm chain gun, will be installed. But the Philippine Coast Guard started installing remote-controlled weapon systems on their smaller vessels, so they might install one when the vessels arrive. The Philippine Coast Guard has been silently building up its fleet, and Japan had constructed and delivered 10 units of 44-meter Parola-class vessels. France has also delivered the biggest Coast Guard vessel last year in 2019, which is currently the largest patrol ship in the Philippine Coast Guard fleet. They also acquired 2 units of the brand new Airbus multi-purpose helicopters, and it is expected that more of this will be acquired to reach their target goal of 7 helicopters. The 2 helicopters will be deployed to the new Coast Guard vessels from Japan when they arrive in 2022. The Philippine Coast Guard is ramping up its modernization to match the size and presence of the Chinese Coast Guard in the West Philippine Sea. As seen in the photo, you can see the size difference of the 2 vessels even from afar. This is the reason why procuring large vessels is very important to raise the morale and strength of the Coast Guard. When the 2 patrol vessels from Japan arrive, it is good enough to match the size of the Chinese vessels. The country is also targeting to acquire 10 more units of this kind of vessel to be more capable in monitoring the 36,000 kilometers coastline of the Philippines. As of now, there are only 62 patrol vessels in the fleet of the Philippine Coast Guard, and the 2 94-meter multi-role response vessel is expected to be deployed in Manila, and another one in the southern part of the country to cover the whole area of responsibility.